Hello, everybody. It is I, your host, Samla, and welcome back to another edition of The Bard's Guide to Dating Dragons. This time, the Metallic Edition. Of course, starting off with the Gold Dragons, shall we say, the gold standard of high expectations and morals. Righteous, noble, and morally superior to you in every single way. If you thought living with other dragons and their standards was going to be hard, you have never been with a gold dragon before. This is like, that one parent or one teacher that expects so highly of you that you almost feel suffocated with their presence and their expectations of you to do better, to be a moral paragon of righteousness. So, needless to say, paladins should, in this case, especially paladins of devotion and other stuff, would definitely love this kind of relationship, but I digress. You have now entered a relationship with everything philosophical in the form of a dragon. Every choice you make is judged by the weight of justice, morals, and high ethics. They won't just love you, they will mentor you, refine you, sculpt you, put a bit of a blacksmithing powwow into it, into the greatest version that you could be. Because the version you currently are is not the current version that you could possibly be, and the greatest version you could possibly be is not the version that you currently are. And that is what they're looking for. Whether you, of course, like it or not. Want to slack off? Nope. Want to enjoy life without deep philosophical conversations? You're funny. Want to live your life in mediocrity and comfort? Disgusting. Do better. They won't just love you. They will show you philosophically what that love is supposed to look like. So if you're into that, hey, congratulations, you're in the right relationship, maybe. But hey, at least you'll never have to question their loyalty. They'll always stand by you. They will love you with the intensity of a divine mandate, which is great. Maybe. Just don't ever break their heart. Because if you do, they won't be mad. They'll just be disappointed. And somehow, that's worse. Silver Dragon, the literal bestest boy or girl. Congratulations, you've won the jackpot. This is probably the most healthy and normal relationship with a dragon you will ever have. They will adore you. They will sometimes worship the ground you walk on, and sometimes enjoy you worshiping the ground they walk on. They are going to be there for you. They like being around humanoids so much that they've ingrained themselves in the culture. And part of that is going to bleed over into your relationship, which is why, you've hit the jackpot. They don't really care what kind of person you are. They'll see the best in you anyways. They don't care, if you're lazy or whatever. They believe in your dreams. They believe in your potential. They believe in who you could be, and they'll try and push you towards that without being overbearing. Because, they love you. Like, actually love you. Like, love you in the sense that you get all the nice warm and fuzzies from them. But here's the thing. They can be so devoted to you that they can, if it gets to a certain level, sacrifice themselves for you. put themselves in danger for you. And if you were not looking for public displays of love and devotion that they'll shout to the world, you've come to the wrong dragon, because they're going to tell everybody how much they love you. Well, maybe not everybody, but a lot of the closer ones, definitely. They will sing your praises, and you know, this is the relationship you get a bit of equality. Just be sure not to break it. So, if you love having a caring, affectionate, and borderline golden retriever energy from a partner, you found it. Just don't have them jump into any dangerous situation like, you know, lava or whatever, especially if you didn't need their help. But for the most part, they'll enjoy teaching you, they'll enjoy being there for you, and you have, for a very powerful creature, gotten yourself the most level of normalcy you will ever get with any of the dragons. This is the dragon to aim for. The bronze dragon, the paladin of the dragons, or the fighter. It really depends on which one you go for, but considering how honor bound they are and how much they like military games and all of that, you're probably going to be following. Yeah, I'm just going to call them the paladins of dragons and be done with it. They are ones who honor loyalty, valor, courage, strategic minds, and, you know, a strong sense and will for adventure, justice, and upholding all that is which is right. Which can be a bit overbearing, because love to them is, you know, much like everything else they do, a quest, a challenge, an adventure, a competition, a strategic game of chess, but not as much as the Sapphire Dragons. We'll get into that later. As for their competitive nature, their pride will not let you win. And if you do win, they'll congratulate you, because, you know, they'll just show them that they haven't been as good as they thought they were, so they won't roast you or skewer you alive like a blue or red dragon might, but they will strive to do better and challenge you again and again and again until either they beat you or you beat them. So there's that, but they aren't just there to protect you. They won't be there. They can be there to protect you, but what they really want is someone who they can be with side by side, fighting their battles side by side in an epic war, potentially, where you're fighting the agents of evil and mowing down everything that is bad in your path like a righteous paladin, fighter, or whatever class it is you are. So, you know, if they chose you, and at this point it would probably be them choosing you, you're in it for life. They'll believe in you, they'll trust you, they'll fight beside you until the end. Just, you know, try not to get hurt when they ask for your casual sparring session that might tumble into something that isn't a sparring session. So, I mean, if you're a fighter, hey, or paladin, this relationship should work somewhat. Well, moving on. The Brass Dragon, the walking social encounter or event. I digress. Because why? You thought you were getting into a romantic partner, like a dragon as a romantic partner? No, that's funny. You're not dating a brass dragon. You're walking a non-stop talking social engagement wrapped in draconic form. You will never have a moment of peace again. When you're sleeping, they will be talking. When you're eating, they will be talking. When you're going to the bathroom, they will be talking. If you're trying to be sneaky, they will be talking. Because you know why sneak? Because they're a dragon. They don't need to sneak. Sneaking is for chumps. You are not going to have peace, because honestly, in this relationship, the best thing that you could ever invest in are some earplugs. And if you love them, you know that would just make them sad. And the only moment of peace is when they have their rare time that they decide to go to sleep. Otherwise, there's going to be PDA. There's going to be them talking to everybody on how much of a wonderful person you are. There is going to be them talking about every single detail they have about themselves, and then wanting you to talk about every detail about yourself until they go back to talking about every single detail about themselves. There's a reason why other dragons can't stand them. But you had to be the brave one, didn't you? You looked at that, saw yourself as an extrovert, saw yourself as a bard, and like, yeah, no, I could handle that. Meanwhile, you're just laying or sitting there just going, please, when will it end? I know they love me, but please shut up. And that's going to be your life from now on. Enjoy! And the Copper Dragon, the Prankster Bard, or the Bard of Dragons, depends on how you want to view it. Unlike the Brass Dragons, who never shut up, the Copper Dragon is more about the pranks, the stories, the adventure, the bard songs, the bard tales, and all that. They want to hear about your story. They want to hear about your adventure. They are the kind of dragon who would be interested in 1001 Nights, whether it's you telling them 1001 Nights, or just them telling you 1001 Nights, and then reenacting some of the scenes out as a prank just to see your reaction. They do love you, but aside from the stories that they will enjoy hearing and talking about, because, you know, this is a bard's dragon after all. This is the dragon that bards would most likely get along with after the silver dragon. Just putting that out there. But aside from that, they do enjoy cunning. They do enjoy a game of wits, and they do enjoy, you know, pranking you with that little water cup that's, you know, on the edge of the cave that you didn't notice because they cast an invisibility spell on it, and oh, look at that, you're now wet. This kind of relationship requires the type of person who can laugh at themselves, who can laugh together with the Copper Dragon, who can keep up with their games, their puzzles, their enjoyment of stories and shenanigans alike, you know, like a rogue or a bard might, hence the Bard's Dragon. So, if you want to impress this dragon, pull off a trick so clever that you will be, how should I put it, rewarded for in more than one way, because boy, do a dragon like a copper one, does a dragon like the copper one enjoy such levels of wits. If you pull it off, well, you might just have some fun in the end of the bedroom sort. So, needless to say, this is the safer bet no matter which metallic dragon you choose. It is a safer bet than, you know, dating a stronger version of Britney Spears' Toxic, in the form of a chromatic dragon, because, you know, at least with a gold or silver or any metallic dragon really, at least they won't immediately kill you or kill you at all. Just don't make them sad, because that would be heartbreaking.